Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. We're here with episode 8, and game week 1 of the Prem season is done and dusted. And we've had some pretty nice results here. Pretty fun games, pretty interesting games, some pretty stupid goals, and some pretty amazing goals so far in this young season. So today we're gonna get into a couple more games that went on today, along with what the hell happened in PSG, man. That was insane. I had to rewatch that brawl. At least 3 times just because, I didn't have any popcorn with me, so I wasn't able to enjoy it that much. But, man, that was something, Nick. What do you think about that?
Oh, man, that brawl was an embarrassment to French football, in my opinion. And even before the brawl, like around the 60th minute, Di Maria got caught on camera spitting at someone. And the crazy thing about that is that Di Maria just had COVID. In the whole state of the world right now, everyone's struggling with the pandemic. No one wants to get sick. Everyone's saying how serious it is. And he goes and spits on the guy. Like, I just feel like that was really immature from him. And then the brawl and stoppage time, there's so many different ways to look at it. But the brawl was immature. But, like, for those of you who don't know, Neymar accused Alvaro Gonzalez of racism. And if this is true, it's unacceptable from Gonzalez. He should get a big suspension, a couple months for sure. But I think it's just messy. What about you?
There's just a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah.
After watching this game, But, like, I get it. It's a big rivalry. It's the El Clasique, whatever. It's a big game. I mean, of course it's gonna be a physical one. It's gonna be a really, it's gonna be a head-to-head bash here, which you already know that coming in. But the freaking shoulder check from Paredes, man.
Yeah.
That just ignited that whole thing. Man. That was just the fuse, the cheap shot. He's the first player I would have sent off. I would have personally held him back if I was the ref, and I'm like, I don't want you to get any part of this. I don't want you to have any more fun in this game. You're fucking out of here. That's ridiculous, bro. This is soccer, not football.
Yeah, the thing is, for the Clásicos, like Classique here, you want it to be aggressive because that's what makes it fun when two big teams, two rivals of many years play each other. But you want the aggression to be on the pitch, going for the ball. You don't want to go for people's heads, pushing, spitting, calling people like racial slurs and stuff. You don't want that. You want good aggressive tackles, back and forth action, running, wasting time, all that tactical stuff.
But you still don't want it to take away from the game as it did in this one.
Yeah, like after the game, no one in the world of media was talking about the scoreline, which is 1-0 for Marseille from a Flo Thauvin goal in the 31st minute. Some people don't even know that goal happened because all the lights were on what happened at the end of the game with the red cards. And then people,
I didn't even know it was him who scored because of this brawl, man.
So everyone was just talking about the 5 red cards, and then people went farther back into the game and found Di Maria spitting on Gonzalez. And it's just a nasty sight.
Yeah, no, this is insane. You got 5 red cards, It's just kind of funny, when you got the game on and you look up at the score thing and you see 5, and there's like 5 little red triangles up there. That's just funny to look at. Because, it's just, you never see that. And then, that's just disgraceful from Alvaro, Even in the brawl, you can see him, like a piece of hair touches him in the forehead and he falls back and grabs his forehead. Like come on.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think the appropriate punishment for Gonzalez should be if he gets proven of the racism act he had?
I think they need to talk to the refs. I don't know if there was a ref in the. I don't think there was a ref in the area around the time when he called him such name. I'm not going to say the name, but when he called him such name, I think you got to talk to the refs. And I believe. I'm going to come out and I'm going to say I believe Neymar, because there's a lot of racism in this sport.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's evident. It's so many players have come out, and it's just starting to get ridiculous now.
Yeah.
Especially now too, with all this stuff going on, that should be the last thing you need to be thinking about in a game of soccer. The most popular game in the world. There's just no need for this in the game. It's just, it takes away from the game. It's not a part of soccer. It shouldn't have never been a part of soccer, but, you can't really stop. You can't really stop how people feel about other people, You just can't really do anything about that. But, I think he should get a suspension. I'm not gonna lie. I think if he did say this, if they can get the evidence that he said this, I would be giving him a 3-match ban at least, because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the flop too. I think he should also be punished for that flop. You kidding me? That's insane.
Yeah. So from my understanding of the situation, I feel like no ref was around him when he called Neymar what he called him.
Yeah.
But the cameras picked up, and like they read his lips, and in Spanish you could read what he said. And Neymar obviously played for Barcelona, so he knows Spanish, and that's where Neymar took offense.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like 3 games would be really lenient, to be honest. I feel like it could be months, or it could be Marseille cutting him.
I think the baseline should be 3 games, you know. I don't really know that much about the banning in soccer. I know a lot more in baseball and football and stuff like that. But, like, this is huge for him, you know. But this could potentially tarnish his career, if not kind of end it, you know.
I feel like we also have to take in the fact where this game was played. France is like more of a progressive country. They're for equality of all races. They really take a good step in leading the world and being like humane. So I feel like the league will take responsibility to give him appropriate punishment.
Yep, and I hope he gets punished to the full extent.
Yeah.
And if not, you know, I'm gonna be mad at this. I'm gonna be mad at the football world.
Yeah.
You know, it's unacceptable.
Yeah. Let's move on to some better news now. Let's go back to England and talk about some actual games without no racism or flopping and stuff like that.
Let's get the hell out of France, dude.
Yeah. So on Monday, Sheffield and Wolverhampton played, and Wolves won the game by a score of 2-0, with Raul Jimenez scoring in the 3rd minute and Romain Saiz scoring in the 6th minute. What were your thoughts on this game?
Raul Jimenez is back, boys.
He is.
He is back. He's better than ever. He's on my fantasy club, so you know I'm pretty happy with that. He got that goal for me in the 3rd minute. You know, Wolves, they're still showing how strong they are. Still a solid team. They got a great midfield. They got it all going on.
It should have been more than 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, it should have been 3-4-0 easily. You know, and it also sucks, you know, because everyone knows that, you know, the best keeper in the Prem last year, huge arguably the best keeper in the Prem last year, was on Sheffield, and now they lost Henderson, and now they're back down to Ramsdale. You know, he's not even close to Dean Henderson, as you can tell from this game. He looked way out of place in this one.
For me, it looked like Ramsdale was struggling to dive. Like, when he was diving for some of the shots, I mean, they were pretty hard shots to save, but a Premier League keeper should be saving them. It looked like he got no elevation in his dives. He was just diving on the ground when the balls were elevated. He looked either hurt or lazy. I couldn't wrap my head around it, but he just didn't look like Dean Henderson is all I got to say.
Maybe he just, he's just doesn't have the athleticism at the moment, you know, because of the COVID thing and then the preseason being short and everything, you know, because a lot of players, I think, are not going to be as fit as they normally would be if it's a regular season. So you got to take a lot of these games with the grain of salt, and a lot of these ratings and how they play with the grain of salt. But after game week 2 or 3, you know, you can't really, there's no excuses after that.
Yeah, he's gonna be under a huge telescope because Sheffield, their play style, they need a goalie to bail them out at times, and a big part of their success last season was Dean Henderson, and they need Ramsdale to at least do 75% of what Henderson did, or they might be in trouble.
Yeah, no, he's gonna need to step it up, or else, you know, they could be going down even, you know, after this performance, but they could be in a relegation battle even.
Yeah. Also, like we talked on previous podcast, Wolves sold Matt Doherty to Tottenham, so we didn't know who was going to fill that role at right wing back, but we saw that they put Adama Traore back there. What were your thoughts on that?
You know, I don't mind this at all. He's a fast guy. He knows how to get forward, you know. He can get past people. He's got that strength, you know, that a lot of forwards aren't going to be able to match that physicality that Traore brings to the table.
Yeah.
And that's the X factor to his game, you know. If you're that big and you're that strong and you have that much pace on you, it's insane. It's insane. He's a really good player. I wish he was a little bit more technical on ball, but you know, he's got the physical attributes. And I think he fills in there great for them at right wing for them because he can get up and down that field for them and track all over the field.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a bad person to put at the right wing back spot, but I feel like it takes a bit of his connection with Jimenez away because sometimes he might not be able to go as far forward at certain times.
Yeah.
But I still feel like they'll connect enough to score a lot of goals. But if they can put him back at that striker spot alongside Jimenez at some point, I think it'll bring him even more joy.
Yeah, no, I would love to see him up front, but I think he's doing a great job at right wing back.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting storyline to pay attention for Wolves fans. But let's move on to the last game of game week 1. Brighton versus Chelsea. Chelsea won this by a score of 3-1, with Jorginho opening up the scoring in the 23rd minute from the PK spot. Then Leonardo Trossard tied the game in the 54th minute. Then Reece James hit a belter in the 56th minute to give Chelsea the lead. And then Zuma scored a goal in the 66th minute, kind of a sweaty goal, like cheesy goal. But it gave Chelsea the victory. What were your thoughts on this game?
I think what you said about that goal from Reece James was an understatement by far.
Yeah, it was banger.
That is an insane goal. That is an insane shot. I didn't know he had that in his locker, you know. He just pulls that out, puts the top bins up there. Insane. Are you kidding me? Reece James?
That was a once-in-a-lifetime shot for him.
That was a once-in-a-lifetime shot right there. If he can do this again, bro, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll do something stupid if he does that again.
I feel like no one can replicate that in one try.
No.
That was perfection. It was perfection.
I would love to see a goal that's better than this in the rest of the season, you know.
Yeah.
I would love to see a better goal than this. But going into how Chelsea played, you know, as I said, I thought they would come out pretty flat-footed in the beginning, as they did. They didn't look very good in the beginning, you know, this first half. They were kind of bland. They weren't really able to get that forward, except for Timo Werner to when he was able to win him. I'm a pen for Jorginho. And, you know, but that's what he's there for. He's got that pace. He's going to cause problems for the back of any team in the Prem League, you know?
Yeah.
He's going to be able to get back, and then he's going to make these defenders who are facing their own goal make stupid mistakes, and even make the goalkeeper make a stupid mistake. Like, kind of what happened today. I don't know if I'd call that a mistake by Matthew Ryan, but he did what he had to do, and that's what he had to do because, you know, he got free like that.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, you know, the first half, they didn't look that good, but then they came out of the second half, you know, and they looked way stronger. A lot of their goals were cheap, you know. I didn't think that their goals were that impressive, really, besides the Reece James one, which is once-in-a-lifetime goal right there. But, you know, I think the scoreline wasn't fair to Brighton. I think it should have been a closer game.
Yeah, I got to say something real quick. I feel like Frank Lampard did everything wrong lineup-wise in this game.
Oh, yeah.
He put Mason Mount in left wing and then Kai Havertz, the new signing, in right wing. And they're both traditionally number 10, more cam-type players in the midfield. And they just both looked lost. They didn't really give Timo Werner perfect passes. They weren't setting him up. Even though he has the pace and he created so much separation, they were just mishitting balls. And they played Ruben Loftus-Cheek at the number 10 position, and he just didn't.
It was terrible.
He didn't look like a number 10. He looked out of position. He wasn't hitting any balls. I know everyone's rusty, but he was making way too many mistakes for a team who has Premier League aspirations, you know. And I just feel like that's
I don't
Lampard.
understand. Yeah, it is. And what I don't understand is how you don't play Ross Barkley over him in this game.
Yeah.
Or ever.
Yeah.
You know.
Or you put Havertz in the position you signed him to play. You spent all that money for him to be a number 10, and you put Callum Hudson-Odoi in that right wing. Like, Hudson-Odoi is young. He is talented. Maybe he's not as driven as he should be, but he needs that game time, that experience to improve. And if he's sitting on the bench playing 10 to 15 minutes a game, it's going to be hard for him to improve just watching other people play.
Yeah, man. But, like, he needs his game time. This is the perfect game to have him get out there and see what he's capable of against a team like Brighton, who showed they look dangerous going forward. And they look dangerous on the set pieces and on the corners, you know. But they look dangerous. But this is just a game that shows you how the quality of players you have can sometimes win you the game just on that and not how they play.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly earlier. The result was really unfair to Brighton. They kept good possession of the ball when they had it. Every time they went forward, it looked like they had a chance to score. But then Chelsea just got the turnover in the midfield for the penalty. And then Zuma's goal is kind of fluky, and then just individual brilliance from Reece James. Like, that's all you can say about that.
Yeah. And I think that Reece James goal is gonna be my goal of the week here, and
Oh yeah, for
in this
sure.
game week 1.
That was a belter. Like, oh my god, it's like you said earlier. It's a Premier League goal of the season contender already in week 1. It's gonna be hard to beat.
Oh yeah, I don't know when this is gonna be beat or even if it's gonna be beat, but even to when I went to bed last night, I had a dream about scoring this goal myself, and how great it would feel to score such a banger like this,
Yeah.
It's got to make you feel good. It's just got to boost your confidence, and I expect great things from him this season just after this first game.
Yeah, the only upsetting thing is there's no away fans to celebrate with, which was kind of disappointing because the away stand would have been going crazy for that goal.
Oh yeah, dude! Just imagine scoring this in front of your home fans, dude.
Yeah.
Insane, absolute scenes.
Yeah. But that's all we got for you guys today. Just a little quick sum up of what happened over the last few days. Thank you guys for listening. Peace.
Be safe.